All right, today I want to talk about family banking. Have you ever heard of family banking? Have you heard of infinity banking? Um, those types of terms. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me go ahead and explain a little bit more. My name is Kristen Gunnarsson with Gunnarsson CFO and Bookkeeping. And I heard this really great analogy. Um, so right now we're working every single day, right? We're working and we're putting money into three buckets, or we should be putting money into three buckets if you're not. So let me explain this. So the first bucket is the money that we're putting money in today in order to live. So this is our everyday living that we need. The house, groceries, insurance, phone bills, car bills, like everything that we need in order to have our lifestyle that we have right now. That is the first bucket. The second bucket is our retirement. We need to be actively saving for our retirement. And that includes putting money into a 401k. It includes putting money into a Roth or a traditional IRA. So that is your retirement. And um, the third bucket is leaving a legacy for your family. So, a few different conversations I've been having lately with people is even my dad. He's like, you know what? What's in my retirement is I want to be able to spend every last dime of it. It's going to be zero by the time you get it. Like, I want to spend every last dime of it. And then I talk to other people, and they're like, we're afraid to spend our retirement. They're already in retirement, but they're afraid to spend their retirement. Like they may have $8 million in their retirement accounts, but they're afraid to spend it because they want to leave a legacy and leave money for their kids. And they're afraid if they spend through too much right now, instead of enjoying it and maybe going on family vacations and taking everyone on vacation with them that they want to spend time with and create those memories with, they're too afraid to do anything with. So that's where that third bucket comes into, is leaving a legacy for your family. That way you can spend everything that you have in your second bucket, your retirement, when you're actually in retirement, making those memories and enjoying time and maybe spoiling the grandkids or something, right? And then there's the living bucket. So let me talk to you a little bit about family banking. Um, and come talk to me if you're even thinking about doing this. This is leaving a big legacy for your family. So there's the Rockefellers and then there's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt lost all of their money. Like they had more money than the US Treasury at one time. And the family members, like it takes one generation to build it, the second generation um kind of goes through it and kind of learns about money. The third generation wipes it clean. And um and they just keep on taking. Everyone's taking from the family legacy. They're taking, but no one's replenishing that money. So eventually, the family that has universities named after them and just they had more money than the U.S. Treasury. Now they're broke. But the Rockefellers, they did it right. So with the Rockefellers, like that's kind of the family banking. They were way ahead of their time. So the family banking is what that is so for instance, like if I wanted to start this, and this is my goal to get this started by maybe the end of this year into next year, um, is basically I can put an insurance policy, like a permanent insurance policy on like my dad and like my father-in-law, and we can create the Gunderson Family Bank, right? And what happens is anyone who wants to be a part of the family bank also has to have a permanent life insurance policy on them, and it goes into the family bank. And what that means is, like, if I'm paying for it, I get to make the rules. So the rules would include anyone who wants to be a part of the family bank has to have a X amount of coverage of permanent life insurance on them um, to be a part of the family bank. And then, like, once people like say my father were to die or whatever, like that would get funded. The family bank would initially get funded with however many, $1 million or whatever policy that we can put on him that we can afford at the moment, right? So that would fund the family bank. And then there's rules in there. So we'd have to create like a family board, people who are very invested and want to make sure that the rules live out, right? And the rules could be, you know, yes, you can borrow from the family bank, but it has to be like a regular bank. So instead of going to, First National Bank or Bank of America, you would go to the family bank and terms would be drawn up like, okay, you want to buy a new car for, I don't know, $40,000 if you can even do that anymore. And you're going to repay it over 5 years at 7% interest, whatever. And then they would be repaying the family bank. And that way the money gets replenished. And if that person doesn't pay the loan back, this all goes into the rules, they don't get to borrow from the family bank anymore. However, the family bank is also still paying on that person's life insurance for it to get fully funded. And if that person dies, the life insurance policy will definitely repay that money back. So they would get that money back. So, and there's just some other rules that you can put, like whatever rules that you want to have, like maybe they have to graduate college. Maybe they have to attend like a Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University or the Total Money Makeover book, or they have to like you get to set the rules up in place of how you want this to happen. So it's very, very interesting. And like I said, I know that I need to dig more into it myself because this is something that I do want to set up. I kind of have a year-end goal, but it's September already. Like, where did the time go this year? Um, and it's just very different. It's kind of different thinking too, because I've always grown up with the make sure you have term insurance and then make sure that you build up enough money for that. You don't need to have insurance anymore because the insurance is supposed to help the family if you were to die, pay off the debt and make sure that they have living expenses. But it's just a different way of thinking. And I'll tell you one more example. So I was actually talking with a financial advisor the other day about this family banking, and he didn't know the term financial family banking, but he knew the term like permanent life insurance. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I actually had a client who had $8 million in their retirement and they were afraid to spend any money. And he's like, look, and the reason why is because they wanted to leave that legacy for the family. They wanted to make sure that they had enough behind to be able to leave to their kids and their grandkids, but they also wanted to make sure that they enjoyed life and maybe did some investing and but they were too afraid to spend any of that $8 million in case they needed it. So what he was able to talk with them about is he's like, look, let's put $2 million of this 8 million away. Let's put it into permanent life insurance. It'll be worth $4 million within X amount of years or whenever, say, the parents die or whatever. But then you still have $6 million left in order to be able to spend during your lifetime. So that gave them the peace of mind that they needed of, oh my gosh, I actually can spend my money. I have $6 million left to spend that I can go take my family on vacations and create all these memories. And if they wanted to buy that second home, like they have the money to do that. And it just gave them that peace of mind. But yet they also had that permanent life insurance. I'll call it a family bank because that's what I would recommend y'all do instead of just getting life insurance, because instead of like the kids just getting that, like let's set up the family bank and the life insurance goes into the family bank with rules and stipulations for that. It will create an even bigger legacy for your family. And they can be like, you set that up, like, just like, oh, that's who set it up, So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Again, if any of these topics that you're hearing about interest you, please go ahead and reach out to us for a discovery call. You will get one of my admin people to talk with you to figure out exactly what you're looking for and to figure out if it's worth moving forward with or not. And then if you want to have a comprehensive consultation with me afterwards, it does cost money, but I promise it'll be worth your while. anyways, and just click the button, discover, this discovery call and go ahead and book an appointment. Thank you. Bye-bye.